Hey friends, Bill here. Hope you're having a good weekend. Having a good one here. Still getting getting ready for the next adventure, which is the Final Four in San Antonio. I had a great time again in St. Pete Grand Prix last weekend. So let's move forward into March Madness. Here's what I like to do right this second. Again, I want to keep highlighting these before we get into events for today, 8th. I think we've got details for today, the 8th, and tomorrow, 9th. What we'd like to do again is go over the events in the Final Four, the cities, the cities that lead up to that, the two regional rounds, and it's on this website /SFOI.org/final-4. So again, the way this works, friends, I think it's really an amazing opportunity. And I also want to talk about getting ready for next year's FIFA World Cup. FIFA's playing its annual World Cup in 4 countries next year: the USA, 3 countries, USA, Canada, and Mexico. And we'll go over those cities too today as well. But so what we're talking about here is trying to take advantage of when a tournament comes to town. That's the point. When a tournament comes to town and they spend a day or two with you, they're great opportunities to get out there and preach. So let me cover the Final Four tournament dates. So the first, there are 68 teams in the Final Four tournament. The first 4 is played every year in Dayton, Ohio. Hopefully, Lord willing, Joshua Richards will preach there. It's on the 18th and 19th of March. So that's 10 days from today, obviously. And then the first, so after that, then the first round of the tournament again. So then they enter in with a 64-team tournament. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cities hosting these first and second round tournaments. So a first and the second round tournament is basically held in the same city. Because what they do is, let me just pick out Lexington, Kentucky as an example. On the 20th, they'll play probably four games. They'll probably have 8 teams. Let's see, what's 8 times 8 is 64. Yeah, 8 teams in its city. So they'll have 8 teams that come into Lexington, and they'll play, and they'll end up with 4 teams. And that'll be the second round. So the first round, which will be on the 20th, are all 8 teams playing each other. And then the winners of those teams, those next 4 teams, they'll play on the 22nd. That's the second round of the tournament. And those teams, they advance to the next weekend, each regional. But first things first, the first and second round games are played in the same city. Each city starts with 8 teams. So that would be 4 games for each city, 4 initial games. And so those first 4 games are played on the first date that's listed on the Final Four website, on our website. So let's go back through this, try to make it simple. So Lexington, Providence, Rhode Island, Wichita, Kansas, and Denver, Colorado all have their first 4 games are on March the 20th. And so then the second games, once they play those, the winners of those games will play on the 22nd. So March 20th is a Thursday. So those first 4 cities will host their first 4 games on Thursday, March 20th, and the winners of those games will play on Saturday, the 22nd. So you've got 2 days in these cities where you've got big games going on. What that means is fans. That's what we're looking for. Basketball doesn't mean nothing. The games attract fans, and we want fans to hear the gospel. So again, Lexington, Providence, Rhode Island, Wichita, Kansas, Denver, Colorado, their first games are on Thursday, March the 20th. And then these 4 cities, Seattle, Washington, Cleveland, Ohio, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Raleigh, North Carolina, their first games are on Friday, March the 21st. And then their next games are on Sunday, March the 23rd. So Friday to Sunday, the first 4 teams are Thursday to Saturday. Second 4 cities are Friday to Sunday. Again, one more time, Lexington, Kentucky, these are those cities. Providence, Rhode Island, Seattle, Washington, Wichita, Kansas, Cleveland, Ohio, Denver, Colorado, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Raleigh, North Carolina. All right, so then the next weekend, you whittle this thing down to from 8 cities to 4 cities. And those cities are Newark, New Jersey, San Francisco, California, Atlanta, Georgia, and Indianapolis, Indiana. And they play those games on Thursday the 27th and Saturday the 29th in those cities. And those cities are New York, New Jersey, and San Francisco, California. Their first games are on the 27th. The second games are on the 29th. And then the other two cities, Atlanta and Indianapolis, their first games are on Friday the 28th and then Sunday the 30th. So it's a pretty simple way to go from 64 teams down to 4 teams, which come to San Antonio on Saturday, April the 5th. All right, so like I said before, each city begins with, on the first and second round, with 8 teams coming in, and the 8 goes to 4, and the 4 teams goes down to 2, and then those 2 teams meet up with other 2 teams, and so each regional city begins with 4 teams, and those 4 teams play. They come out with 2 winners, and then those 2 winners play on the second day of the weekend, and the winner of that game goes to San Antonio. Make sense? So it's pretty simple. So anyway, you've got these great cities: Lexington, Kentucky, Providence, Rhode Island, Seattle, Washington, Wichita, Kansas, Cleveland, Ohio, Denver, Colorado, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Raleigh, North Carolina, playing the first series of games beginning March 20th through March 23rd. Then just the very next weekend are the regional games. We got 4 teams coming into each city: Newark, New Jersey, San Francisco, California, Atlanta, Georgia, Indianapolis, Indiana. They're going to play games on 2 days, either Thursday and Saturday or Friday and Sunday. And then each of those cities will produce one champion, and that one champion will go to San Antonio for the championship. And that's how the Final Four works. So if you want to preach at these games, this link will be at the top of this video. And you never preached before, then contact me. We can talk about how to get it done. It's so simple. 2.5 hours before tip-off through half hour after tip-off. That's the time frame you're shooting for. Get out there early, get in a good spot, preach for 2.5 hours, and man, that's it. And pass out tracts, and then you do that for the next day as well, and you basically reached either that regional tournament, that NCAA men's regional tournament in that city. So simple stuff. So let me know if you can do it. Call me 866-646-5683. If I don't answer, leave me a message. I'll call you right back. That's exciting. Cool. Let's go through the list of events today, since we're starting late today at 4:05 p.m. 4:05. Let's see what games are left today. NHL games that are left. So here we're going to, like I normally do, I'm going to say the city and the time they start. So these are all NHL games. It looks like there's about 6 or so left today. Sunrise, Florida, that's Miami, 6 p.m. These are Eastern time starts. Denver, Colorado, and Calgary, Canada, 7 p.m. start. Nashville, Tennessee, Los Angeles, California, 8 p.m. Eastern time starts. And then Edmonton, Canada, and San Jose, California, 10 p.m. Eastern time starts. So lots of opportunity in NHL. NBA World, looks like those games have got about 7 or 8 NBA games that look like they're all accessible. Charlotte, a 6 p.m. start. Houston, Texas, 7 p.m. start. Atlanta and Toronto, 7:30 p.m. start. Miami, Milwaukee, 8 p.m. start. Boston and San Francisco, 8:30 p.m. start. MLB, let's do MLS next. MLS, Atlanta, Georgia, that's at Mercedes-Benz. Cincinnati, Ohio. Washington, D.C., Foxborough, Mass., Bronx, New York, that's Yankee Stadium, a 7:30 p.m. start. Austin, Texas, Frisco, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, 8:30 p.m. start. Sandy, Utah, Vancouver, Canada, great city for preaching, 9:30 p.m. start. And San Jose, California, at PayPal Park is a 10:30 p.m. start. Here's what I'm going to skip the spring training games. I'm going to go into tomorrow, Sunday. Sunday is a full slate of sports activity. So Sunday, NHL games, there's 8. Philadelphia, 1 p.m. start. Washington, D.C., St. Paul, Minnesota, 3:30 p.m. start. Raleigh, 5 p.m. New York, Madison Square Garden, 6. Las Vegas, 8 p.m. Vancouver, Canada, Anaheim, California, 9 p.m. start. NBA games tomorrow. Oklahoma City, 1 p.m. start. Dallas, Texas, 3:30. New Orleans, 7 p.m. Philadelphia, 7:30. Milwaukee, Minneapolis, 8 p.m. start. Portland, Oregon, 9 p.m. start. Inglewood, California, that's LA, 9:30 p.m. start. MLB, we're going to skip that and move on down to MLS. 2 MLS games, 4 p.m. start tomorrow. Fort Lauderdale, and 7 p.m. start, Carson, California. Where is Carson, California? Let's see where that is. It's got to be in the LA area. Let me look that up real quick. So Carson is, well, if you look on the map, Carson is just due north of Long Beach, which is south of LA. So we've got, Carson, then Torrance, then Redondo Beach. And you've got north of Torrance is, I believe, the airport, Inglewood, Watts. So yeah, it's right in the city of Los Angeles. Carson, California, MLS games, LA versus St. Louis. Lots of stuff tomorrow. Lots of opportunity tomorrow. And so let's keep it there. What else is going on? What else can we talk about today that might be of benefit to you? Again, if you're new to watching the videos, I'm going to try to share one, maybe two ideas with you. One is we preach consistency here at SFOI. Consistency is so important. Let me explain consistency. Of course, we know what that means, but like I went to almost every home Falcons game for 15 years. Stood in the same place. My hat working, and I got to know the fans. I preached, and I was there. I did what I always do, but being in the same place all at the same time, the fans got to know me, and I got to know the police. Got to know Chief Davis, all the chiefs that worked there, did security there as well. Consistency really helped facilitate the ministry, and people got to know me and said, "Hey, they liked what I did. They weren't offended by it. The authorities, they didn't try to run me off, which they did sometimes for other people. And so I got to stay, and they got to know me, and I just met a lot of fans. I met a lot of ticket scalpers, met a lot of people. I still see ticket scalpers. I know I saw some in New Orleans for the Super Bowl. I saw them in Orlando at a bowl game. I see these guys all the time, and they're great guys. And so that's consistency. You get to know people. Consistency. When I say getting to know people, also it's just a language for, hey, it's like seeing your pastor or a pastor out in town. Like, you know what that guy does? He's friendly to you. You like that. If you ever had any questions, you could ask the pastor. So I've got a question for you. He'd be happy to answer it. That's what's going on. Now, he's not walking up to you, and I'm not either. Every time I see one of these guys say, hey, man, are you saved yet? Did you get saved? It's not what I'm doing, because they know they know my message. If they see me all the time, they know what I'm preaching. They know what I'm doing. And so for me, if I say I'm getting to know them, that means I'm approachable. And when we see each other, I say hi to them. They say hi to me. If they got any questions. And lots of times they'll ask me to pray for things. That's what I'm talking about. The ministry from that spot is extended to other places. So consistency, that's the fruit of consistency. So we preach consistency that benefits the work of the ministry, not only to the salvation of the soul in front of you, but to the whole environment in which you're in. So, like in these Final Four cities, let's say you live in Providence, Rhode Island. Hey man, now's a good time to start preaching at this venue. Now's the time to start, because it really helps you begin consistency. And then you find other places. It's not just that you are there at the same venue all the time. It is there that you are out and about. So like in my case, I not only preached at Mercedes-Benz, which where the Falcons played, it was Georgia Dome back then, but I also went to Phillips Arena, which was across the street all the time. I went to other concerts, festivals. I was all over the city. And so in that sense, people knew me, man. It's not hard to be seen. And just think about it. You live in Lexington, Kentucky. You preach downtown, the football games, at Rupp Arena. Pretty soon, man, if you're steady, consistent, people are going to get to know you. And if you do a good job, they're going to say, hey, there's a guy preaching. Let's talk to him. You're going to win friends. So I saw people all the time. And so it's not just that you start preaching at Amicum Mutual Arena in Providence, Rhode Island, March 2022, or PNC Arena in Raleigh, or Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee. This is the beginning of your consistent ministry through the city. Obviously, that's what I'm saying. And so at SFOI, that's why we've added concerts and festivals to our list of activities, because we're trying to get you, others, to get out and preach at all these places where people gather. Because the more you're consistent, the more your ministry benefits, the more the gospel levels an area, and the more people can, Lord willing, come and believe on the Lord Jesus. So we preach consistency. Be consistent. You're going to miss some things, but be systematically consistent. So what that means at a football team, you can be at every home game. NBA team, you might do half the home games. So if they play home 80 times, you're there 40 times. Oh, that's over a 5 or 6 month period. That's not like you're doing five games a week for 4 weeks. You can do it. You see, NHL, same thing. They play 80 home games, I think, and you can be at half the home games or more on an easy basis. Think about this: 22 million fans I read last year went into NHL, NBA team, all the games over the season. A lot of people out there. It's just 30 teams, 32 teams. If we had 34 evangelists, 32 evangelists at the home games of all these arenas, we'd reach 22 million people. See how easy that is? That's what I'm talking about when you're consistent and you're out there all the time. So we preach consistency. I want to encourage you to be consistent. I want to encourage you to make a commitment. And second part of consistency is you got to schedule it. Got to get it on your schedule. You don't wake up on Tuesday and decide if you're going to do something Tuesday night. Typically, you're not going to do it, even if you're single. Get it on the calendar, build your life around it. In other words, hey, say you're single, then say, I'm going to be down there. You plan it like you're going to do anything else in your life. Got a family, the whole family knows that dad's going to go down and preach at the NHL game, NBA game. Lots of times these guys share arenas too, so you've got a double hit in some cities. So dad's going to be down there. Hey, that's fine. We love dad because dad is gone on Tuesday night. Does not mean dad does not love me anymore. Nothing like that. Dad's just down there evangelizing the fans. And that's the way it works. You got to schedule it and you'll go. And the flip side, we can talk about this next time, but the family benefits from you being out evangelizing. They benefit as you grow in the grace. They should benefit and they should benefit as well. But consistency, schedule. Consistency and schedule. That's the way to get it done. All right, friends, listen, give me a ring to help you. 866-646-5683. If I'm not there, like I said, leave me a message and let's get rolling. See you.